Yo, what is up? Today is July 6th, and this is the trade recap. Took a small win today, and that's because I didn't stick to my system, but I can go ahead and explain that once we get into today's price action. So let's just go over and look at the P&L ski for today. P&L ski for today. Made around 650. Had the opportunity to make a lot more, but as I said, did not stick to my system, but let's just get into it. So going into the day, I wanted it to support the bullish narrative. And that's because of this 15-minute inverse candle, basically off open. So off open, we were ripping. Off open, we were ripping right around here-ish. Bullish candles, getting bearish candles, kind of bouncing a little bit in a range. And it did not come and sweep this low, so that looked protected to me. And then it ended up bouncing out of this range, and what kind of set my confirmation, kind of set my bias for the day was that 15-minute inverse candle off of open, the one that I mentioned here. Once I saw this IFBG of the 15-minute, I was sure that I wanted to look for calls. Like going into a short trade would not align with my system just because my bias is long, which is why I faded this trade right here. So here is a 15-minute gap. Show you that. So here is a 15-minute bearish fair value gap that would usually be my higher time frame condition if I was going short. But because my bias was long with this super bullish IVG close, I wanted to look for calls. So maybe a lot of people could have gotten cucked on this trade here. I mean, I was gonna forward test it to see if this works because I saw this 1 minute IFBG here, but with the MEC model, you want to look at the highest time frame for your entry, and that goes from either the 30-second all the way up to the 5 minute. So you look at the 1 minute, the 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute, and on this 5 minute, I was able to spot a fair value gap that I wanted to get in burst. But I was already hesitant about the trade. So first of all, I wouldn't take this trade because of my system. That 1 minute IFVG would not be where I took the trade. It would be this smaller 5 minute IFVG, which is right here, right here. Let's mark this out. Even though it's small, that's where where I wanted price to get inversed if it was going to support my reversal model. And that could have been the trade. That easily could have been the trade because, you know, these are some DOLs, right? This is a draw on liquidity here, low resistance here, but that just didn't end up happening. We kept getting wicked out of this 5 minute fair value gap, and that just supported my bullish narrative even more. So now we have that 15-minute IFVG, and then we disrespected this 5 minute gap right here, which could have been an entry for a MEC model because of this disrespect, because we're disrespecting that 15-minute fair value gap. And then what I used here, because this looked so protected and my narrative was being filled that it was bullish. And I took my higher time frame point of interest as this order block and change in state of delivery here. So once I had my higher time frame condition, which is step 2, after finding your bias, you look for the confirmation. And because I haven't really back tested this like strategy that much using order block and change in state of delivery on the 5 minute as much, which is why I kind of got a bad entry here and ended up taking a smaller win than I should have, because entry should have been off this 1 minute here. So I had this marked out. This was my entry where I wanted to get inversed, and my trade should have been here. That's where I should have gotten my entry, but because I wanted to kind of wait for a little bit of confirmation because it was kind of bouncing in this downward range, I entered off this bullish candle flows on the 1 minute here. And this break even was pretty obvious. And it just ended up getting TP smacked here at this 1-to-1 for my piece of the pie. I did not want to see price come any lower than here. I felt like there was no idea, or there was no reason for price to come down here, especially because we formed another gap. So maybe we could have had price attempt to go down here, you know? And then from there, we could see price retrace up. So this is why you kind of want to build your stop losses and take profits with due diligence, because they all kind of mean something. And when you want to trust and align with your system, then you kind of need to work out all of those little nuanced details. But yep, that is the trade for today. It ended up ripping pretty far up, but just super unfortunate, honestly. Could have made way more off this trade. Um, I'm gonna try and backtest more change in state of delivery and order block for my higher time frame condition, especially after 5 minute, because I don't usually use the 5 minute as a higher time frame condition. It's usually 15 minute and above. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and look into that a little bit more. But yeah, cooking, cooking, cooking. Coming back from the 4th of July weekend with a dub is always great. And on a little bit of a win streak, don't want to jinx anything. But yeah, that is today's price action. I feel like it was A plus if I knew what I was looking for, but kind of a new setup for me, and it ended up working out. So yeah, super nice, super nice. But yeah, that is today's price action. Hope you guys had a fun weekend, and go ahead and have yourself a good rest of the day.